course, my nose itches now.
Of course it does. Hi, Bertine. How are you?
Hello, Christy. I'm well. How are you doing?
I am well, and I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm trying to figure out all the things. Let's see. I think we just went live on Instagram too. Yes, we totally did. Okay, so
Awesome.
welcome to a little conversation. Friend, I am always honored to get the chance to talk to you, but today is special, and I am just thrilled to tell the world about She Means Business. So, why don't you
Oh,
just let people know a little bit about who you are first? Let's start there. Who is this beautiful woman sitting across from me?
oh my gosh. Well, first, I'm a friend of Christy's, so let's get that out of the way, right? But my name is Bertine Crevecoeur West. I'm the CEO and founder of Westbridge Solutions. We are a boutique management consulting firm. We're based out of Atlanta. We have two offices, one in Atlanta proper and one in Duluth. We've been in business for 10 years, though I've been an entrepreneur for over 17 years. And our company is split into two divisions. So one is business development and strategy, and the other is what we call ideas, inclusion, diversity, equity, and advocacy strategies. So the name of the game for Westbridge Solutions is strategy. We believe that when you have a well-crafted, customized strategy, that you can be not only empowered for success, but you can be ready to respond to any changes that there may be in the market. You can be agile, you can be innovative, and you can continue to thrive. And as it pertains to business, grow your revenue, particularly when we're talking about entrepreneurs. So I took my love of business, I took my love of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I took my love of data and strategy, and this is how She Means Business came into play. My goal and my purpose is to see women in particular succeed in business, and that's why it's called She Means Business. So that's a little bit about me.
I love it. Well, and She Means Business could be the best title of any I've heard. It's just so perfect. And it's such, I feel like it's all encompassing of who you are, because you do mean business, and you mean getting things right and being exceptional and doing all of that while figuring out how to make your weakness opportunities and how to grow things forward. And so we're here today because there's a pretty exciting event coming up. And I am thrilled to say that this event happens in my backyard. So in Clearwater, Florida on October 12th, you are going to be there doing some pretty magnificent things. Tell us all the things.
So yes, I am so delighted to be coming to Clearwater, Florida, and thank you so much, Christy, for being such a wonderful partner in this. I really appreciate just the energy that you bring. I can't wait for us to kick this off together, and really, She Means Business is going to be. Workshop is not what I call it. I call it a strategic business incubator because it is the offset of She Means Business Beta, which I had in Atlanta earlier this year. And, that was a 2.5 hour event where it was more presentation style and people responded really well to it. So I decided to take it on tour. And the reason this came into being was because wherever I went before She Means Business, women would approach me and ask me, how did you do X, Y, and Z? And the X was starting my company when I was 7 months pregnant. My son is now about to be 16 next month. Then the Y was surviving through a pandemic and actually getting the business to start thriving then, which was, another outwardly odd thing to happen, right? It's not the typical trajectory of a business, right? And then the Z is, staying in this thriving mode. And so that literally is the X, Y, and Z of how to make it happen. And, whenever I would start to go out in my personal life and in my professional life, women would ask me these questions. And so, I was like, well, you can read my book, on SWOT analysis, but for those who may not have time to read the book or even know about the book, I said we've got to do something more. So that's how the She Means Business Beta got started. And then after that, I said we've got to do something even more radical for them, because it's one thing to learn the practical. It's one thing to learn the theoretical. It's another to learn the practical. right? And I said, well, what do I want every woman to come away with? At the very least, I want them to come away with their blueprint. This is why I refer to this as the strategic blueprint. And this is why I feel like my nickname is starting to become the blueprint, because every time I meet a woman in business, I see my gift. I know this is that I see people and companies 10 steps ahead of where they see themselves, and I reverse engineer the process. It is my joy. It's so much fun for me. I am data driven, people centered, and solutions oriented. So taking all of those things into consideration, I want to see women thrive and really see the potential that is out there for them. And using my own company and my clients as case studies, I have been able to 10x my business twice at least, and then 10x the business of my clients, entrepreneurs, usually women. And so I want them to know it's possible, but there is a process to it. It's really about, first, you know how I feel about doing an internal SWOT analysis, right? But then we have to do a SWOT analysis on our businesses. And so with this incubator, everyone will learn, of course, the theoretical, but then we're going to apply it to their businesses. So each attendee, every woman in attendance will leave with a customized strategic playbook. And we're going to do that in 5 hours. We're going to have a fabulous time. And we're going to really dig deep and really empower women for success. Was that the short answer?
Wow. Oh my gosh, it was the best answer. And what's so exciting to me about you is your willingness to give back, right? Like you figured these things out for yourself. You did so 7 months pregnant and, with a little one and, all through the pandemic and everything else. But you didn't keep it to yourself. You said, you know what? I think that I could help other people figure out how to do this and do it well. And that's to me, your superpower is recognizing that the talents that you have aren't just yours and that they are something worth sharing. So the people that come to this, these fabulous women who want to be a part of learning all of this, what stage of their business would they be in? Would they be brand new? Would they have done this for a while? Like who are you looking for?
I love that question so much because that is the key to She Means Business, and it is what lies at the heart of what I do. So I believe there are 3 specific phases in the entrepreneurial journey. So there is the starter phase, there's the growth phase, and there's the sustainer phase. So while everyone in here in these 3 phases can benefit greatly from She Means Business, this is really geared towards those in the starter and growth phases, because that's where they're going to see the most impact, right? So I think of this as a rocket ship that's going to propel them to new heights, right? Because once we have information, being that, this is my gift, this is what I love to do, there is a saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, but just because it's yours doesn't mean it's only for you. So there's no value in having a gift if I can't share it with everybody, right? And there's no point in being the only one in the room that knows this, right? And this has taken me years and years to learn. So I don't want it to take women that amount of time. Like I did that for you. Here's an easier, well, easy is not the word, but here is a simpler path, right? Simple and easy are 2 different things. And I will say, there are so many amazing, amazing entrepreneurs that I meet, men and women, but particularly since we're talking about She Means Business, women, and even conversations that I've had, literally, what is today, Christy? Today is Wednesday. Since conversations that I've had since Monday, I have spoken to so many women that are struggling. They're struggling. They're living their best social media lives, but their businesses are in jeopardy. Some haven't gotten paid. Some are seriously undercharging. Some don't know their unique value proposition. Some don't understand that marketing and branding are 2 very different things. Some don't understand why you price for service and not for time. They don't know where to find their clients. AI is a challenge. There's so many things that can be done. And we put all of that into She Means Business. And so, it's heartbreaking for me to see intelligent, brilliant, dynamic women struggle in this way. And these are conversations that are had, in green rooms. These are conversations that are had, if we bump into each other at an event in a corner, or somebody calls me on a phone or sends me a text. And I'm like, there's a better way. And I want to be able to help women do this, and not just in my own backyard here in Atlanta. So that's the purpose of taking She Means Business on tour. And we're going to be at a lovely venue. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you for helping me find it, because I did not know where would be just the ideal place to make women feel valued, seen, heard, and just have them enjoy the space that they're in while we're crafting these transformative strategies for them.
So we're going to be at the Opal Sands in
Yes.
Clearwater Beach, Florida. And that is literally the hotel is built so that everybody has a Gulf view. And there's a big difference between the Gulf and the ocean. Just to be clear, we are not overlooking the ocean. We're overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. But it is a beautiful space for women to, like you said, feel valued and feel like they're worth it. So I've been to an event once. It was when I first launched my business. It was called the Business Boutique. And it was the most interesting experience for me. Now, this was thousands of women. This is going to be intimate. And I think that's what I should have done to begin with, because I got lost. And I'm a very confident human, but I don't have a lot of worth in my mind, right? Like, so there's a big difference between self-confidence and self-worth. And somehow in my growing up years, I didn't think that I deserved all of the things. So I walked into this venue and I immediately started crying. And Bertine, I cried for 2 days. Like, I was there by myself. I didn't know anybody. I felt very, lonely in a whole room of people. And I mean, I could tear up now thinking about it. And I say that because I know you well enough to know that nobody is going to feel that in this room. What people are going to feel in this room is warmth and life and confidence and opportunity. And they're going to get to do that with other women who are kind of in the same stages, right? There's so much power in that. And I'm so grateful to be a teeny tiny little part of this day of learning. I have to mention, because we've been talking now for 12 minutes, that I am not always this green. Like, this is the most hideous lighting anybody's ever. I'm in a hotel in San Diego and there's just no light. So I'm using the flashlight from my phone. So I just had to put that out into the universe that I do not, it's not easy being green. Anyway, I also had to lighten the mood a little so that I didn't cry, because I think what you're doing is so special, right? So women who are going out on a limb and starting a business and putting themselves out there, and they're not 100% sure what that's supposed to look like or how to do it, and you take them through the process. So what if I'm newly appointed in a leadership position? So I have a dear friend who might be shifting positions, and I just wonder, would it be relevant if the new role is going to be CEO, or the new role is going to be, part of a C-suite, is in an established business? Would it be relevant for somebody like that to come to your training?
Most definitely. And thank you for asking that. Yes, She Means Business is going to be an exclusive event, an intimate event. It's not meant for, if this were a wedding, it's not meant for 1,000 of our closest friends, right? This is going to be a very small event. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's going to be a small group. So we are only opening it up to no more than 30 people, because we want to make sure, we want to make sure that we have time to craft everyone's specific strategy. There's not a single person that's going to be there that day that is not going to benefit from She Means Business, because we're going to give them individualized attention. And, to your point, that's happened to me as well, where I've walked into conferences, trainings, what have yous, that have just seemed like I was a grain of sand in a desert. And I thought, okay, well, I'll glean from this what I can, and I'll make it work in the way that I can make, but there was no personalized attention. So literally I've traveled around the country, going to certain things like this for a few years. And that was one of the things that was always missing for me. Can someone help me with the practical side? So to your point about, walking into the space and and just feeling like, okay, you're in an ocean of people. You are not alone in that. And I dare say there's so many of us that go through that, right? And that's one of the things I love about you so much, Christy, besides your energy and being such a dynamic, phenomenal woman, right? And brilliant, might I add. And you bring all the fun to stuff. No, it's true. You bring so much fun to stuff. You also, are vulnerable in your journey, right? And I think that resonates with people because we don't, particularly as women, we're seen to be super women, and super women need to take the cape off every once in a while and dust it off. And sometimes we need other women to help us do that. So I do want to create this sense of care, not only for their businesses, but for themselves. And so to your point about a CEO, yes, there are definitely strategies that will benefit a CEO, because what we are going to be doing is helping women lead themselves. Right? Lead themselves in their business, lead themselves in their roles. Because the entrepreneur and the CEO have two things, well, one big thing in common. They are leaders. The second thing they have in common is that they need strategy. So strategy operates from the top. Every CEO needs a strategy that can be rolled out for their companies, right? So whether you are an entrepreneur or the CEO or the leader of a business, this will be for you.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. And like I said, I'm thrilled to death to be a tiny part of it because I need to learn all of these things. So let's pretend for a second. So I started my business in 2022, and it is a side hustle currently. It's something that I do and love and feel like I'm really good at. And I know that what I'm doing has value, and I see it every time I'm out there. But I'm not, so busy that I need to be doing this full time just yet, or anything like that. So how would you walk me through the process, right? Like, so let's pretend for a second so that people can get a tiny glimpse, not far deep, because we need them to come. That's much more important. But what sorts of things would you do with me? I guess I would say I'm in the growth phase because I've branded and I've done the things, but now I'm in that growth phase. What would you do with me? Because I'm a hot mess.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. And no, you are not. And you're so much more than anything in this. You're such a big thing in this. But I will say this. One of my favorite quotes is from Socrates, know thyself, right? And so taking that into heart, I tend to use the Socratic method when I am trying to understand another person. So I ask a lot of questions. And so another quote that is one of my favorites is by Marcus Aurelius. The obstacle is the way. Right. And I'm paraphrasing that one. But the thing that seems hard, that is the thing that we're going to focus on. That is whatever you feel is blocking you. My question would be, why is it a side hustle? Because I want to know why you think, if this is this amazing gift, why should it be relegated to a side hustle? And then I want to talk about, language and reframing, because the hustle is over. The strategy is now present. So we're going to replace the hustle with the strategy, right? We're going to dig deeper into what's preventing you from going all in on this dream, this business that has value because you're able to help other people. Then we're going to talk about, okay, once we learn what roadblocks, because sometimes these roadblocks are internal, right? They are perceived and they are not actually real. Right?
I would say most of the time, but okay.
So then we're going to break those down. And then we're going to look at the roadblocks that are external, right? Some of those are access. Some of those are knowledge. Some of that is data. Some of it is tech. What is preventing you, once we've identified the internal roadblocks, from getting to where you need to be? Then we're going to talk about where do you want to be, where you actually are, and where we can actually get you, because those are three different spaces and places entirely. Yeah. And so, then we're going to work that out and break down the components that you'll need to get you there. So that's typically how I have these types of conversations. It really comes from a natural curiosity about the person before the business, right? And so once I get to know the person, which is why this intimate setting is so important. Once I get to know the person, and that doesn't take as long as people actually think, right? It's not like months of conversation. it's a few questions because people want to share this. They want to be seen, heard, valued, right? Because this is their dream. And I don't take that lightly. I know what it was like to have a dream. And then I knew what it was like to dream beyond the dream. Right. And that's manifesting itself in so many ways. So for me to just hold on to that for my own sake, that's not fun. Right. And so I'm just like, well, how can we have fun? And how can we reinvigorate women in their businesses, have them working on their businesses instead of in their businesses? How can we get them to reframe and claim the leaders that they actually are and see increased revenue for it? Let's show them the return on investment in themselves and in their business is a real thing. It's not a dream. It's not a hustle. It's strategic. It's data driven. It's people centered. It's solutions oriented.
Oh my gosh. And it's exciting. And it's happening on October 12th in
Yes.
Clearwater, Florida at Opal Sands. And so how might somebody register for this? Like if I'm listening and I'm going, holy cow, this sounds like the best thing I could possibly do with my time. How would somebody get registered?
So we are happy to share a link. And if you look in the comments, I think you'll be able to see the link. But you can also go to our website, westgrouptraining.com. And there's a tab under our resources page called She Means Business. Click on Clearwater, Florida. We are also coming to other cities near you. That'll be in 2025. And thank you, Christelle, our wonderful assistant here at Westbridge Solutions. She keeps our branding in line. So thank you so much for that. She has put the link right here in the chat. Christelle, if you can put it in the comments for us as well. And so then you'll be able to see that link, people joining us for this live and seeing the repeat of this live. So once you click on that, that will take you directly to our registration page. And so once you're at the registration page, it will give you all of the details that you will need. And then we hope to see you there on the 12th. We're going to have an amazing, transformative time. And I want you to really be clear. This is not a networking event. This is not a workshop. This is a transformational business incubator. We are going to dive deep. We are going to go for that swim, and then we're going to come back up reinvigorated, ready to reframe your business with a customized strategy so you can get on with the business of leading yourself and your company.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, and I just put that in the chat too, transformational business incubator. I don't think you can get that just anywhere. So I can't wait for this event one more time, October 12th. That's a Saturday, and we're going to spend that Saturday learning and growing together at the Opal Sands on Clearwater Beach. And y'all, I have spent time with Bertine, and I have read her book, and I have had the opportunity to see her in action. This is the kind of thing that will change your game. And if you have any doubt whatsoever that you should invest in yourself, call me because I will convince you otherwise. This is the investment that you need to make so that you can break out of the space that you're in and become exactly who you're meant to be. That's what you do for people, Bertine. You allow them to break out of their perceived shell. It really is just a perceived shell, right? Like it's not there, but we have this glass ceiling that we tend to put over ourselves, and you're ready to bust right through that. And I can't wait. I think it's going to be fabulous. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that the people that see this know?
I'd love to just let them know that we are here to see them succeed. We'd love it if they would share this replay with their friends. We'd love it if they share with their business colleagues, share on your social networks, and come join us, because I will say once we have reached 30 people, it is closed, and we won't be having another one until next year. So I would say use this third quarter of the year as your planning phase. She Means Business is the launch pad for that. So if you want to start out strong in 2025, this is the time to begin. At Westbridge Solutions, we shut down in December so we can plan amazing things for our company and for our clients in 2025 for the following year. So every December, since I think for the past 5 years, this is what we end up doing. Hey there, Kelsey. Thanks so much for joining us. So, I would suggest use this as an investment in yourself, an investment for your company, and you will see the return on this investment before you even realize it. Prepare for next year right now.
Okay, well, the gauntlet has been thrown, friends, and it is time, October 12th. We can't wait to see you. There will be a whole lot of fun happening while we learn together and create that transformational business incubator. So, Bertine, thank you for your time today. I know we're going to do this again. When are we doing this again? What's that date?
We're doing this again. Let's see. We're doing this again, I think, on the 25th. I think on the 25th. Yes, that sounds right. But we're going to keep everybody posted. And we're looking forward to doing this again. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that Dr. Christy McMullen is having an event on the webinar on October 1st. So while you are getting excited for She Means Business, also sign up for this webinar. This is going to be fun. Every time she has anything, I look forward to it. I look forward to her podcast. I look forward to this webinar, and she's going to bring the fun. If you've ever seen her, you know that she just wakes you up. And the moment I met her, I was like, I'm going to be this woman's friend. and then somehow later on, we ended up talking about business. But would you have thought a couple of years ago when we met that we'd be doing this now together? So I want to thank you for your exuberance, your energy. It makes such a difference in really just being prepared for the day. So everyone, tune in October 1st and then sign up for She Means Business on October 12th. And we'll see you in Clearwater, Florida.
Oh my gosh, yay. Okay, well, thank you, Bertine, for your sweet words. You are an inspiration, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to end the stream. I know you are sad, but there will be more of us to come on the 25th and then, of course, on October 12th because you're going to join us there. So see y'all later.